The Colorado Indy 200 is sponsored in part by Nortel Networks, how the world shares ideas. By Pennzoil with Pure Base, made for the way you drive. Stop, go, Pennzoil. By Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us. And by Firestone, America's tire since 1900.
And good afternoon. Welcome to a beautiful afternoon. The Colorado Indy 200. Kick back and relax. It's almost time to go racing, and it's time for that famous command, and a fan will give the command today. Larry Ayers has the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The field of 24 now coming to life. We have 3 former Indy 500 winners in the field today. 6 rookies will be in this field today. That'll be fun to watch and see how they handle the traffic on this small track. Here's the weather, 75 degrees, partly cloudy skies today. And the race today will go 200 miles, 200 laps. Sorry, Lion Dyke, this is a very, very busy track.
Traffic is going to play an important role in how the leaders get by traffic here, because it's going to be very busy. The points is going to be very important for, as we spoke about earlier in the show, Scott Goodyear and all those guys in contention.
And I think the thing we got to watch is that fuel window, because that's on a sliding scale. We get a lot of cautions and we could have a problem.
All right, here's your keys to the race.
Just like last time here, we had a new winner, a new IRL winner, and I think today it could be the same. Sam Schmidt, potential there, Jeff Ward, and traffic, like I said earlier, is going to play an important role in how and who's going to win this race. The whole field is covered within a second, and of course the points, we spoke about that earlier.
All right, the field starting to pull away from the pit area right now. The 8th race of the season for the Indy Racing League. And Ari, take us around the track and give us a tour here.
Turn 1, going into turn 1 about 186 miles an hour. That's the fastest part of the racetrack. But the difference in the 2 turns are coming onto the straightaway, coming out of turn 2 here. As we follow Scott Goodyear, he's going into turn 1 right there. But coming out of turn 2, he goes from a 10-degree banking to a 3-degree banking. Now headed down the back straight, which is the only straightaway on the circuit, 300 yards or so. Coming out of turn 4, here, he's coming onto a 7-degree banking. And the car always feels a little bit more comfortable coming onto the straightaway on this side of the track where the start finishes than it does on the other side.
It's the Colorado Indy 200 here on Fox Sports Net. Now, it's going to be fun today because we have 6 onboard cameras for your enjoyment. Jack, start us off here.
Now, this is the guys, the defending champion of the summer race at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Remember, Kenny Breck used fuel consumption and his conservative approach last year to win the race and went on to the title. The Harris-powered Team Oldsmobile will have Kenny Breck at the controls. Then the Pennzoil Panther Nortel entry.
That's right. Scott Goodyear told us this morning that his team pretty much changed everything except for the number yesterday, trying to find the right setup today. The Pennzoil Panther G4 Scott Goodyear inside of row 6.
Buddy Lazero go to post in 9th position. Lazero, hometown boy. 2 Laziers in the field we showed you. And Lazier aboard the Coors Light Delta Fawcett Ron Hemmelgarn entry. And he is coming off his season's best second at Dover.
Outside of row 3, Scott Sharp won at Atlanta, coming off a 22nd finish at Dover. He feels like he has something to prove today in the Delphi Automotive Machine. We'll watch number 8 in the Delphi Machine.
And starting 3rd is the MCI WorldCom entry for Mark Dismore. Dismore, who had the pole momentarily yesterday, and they are racing without their longtime partner, Jim Kelly. Kelly couldn't be here today, so he's watching on Fox Sports Net.
And up on the front row, there he is, Sam Schmidt on the outside of the front row. The Sprint PCS machine, he is due for a victory. He feels like this place owes him one. We'll watch him on the outside. Something new on the dash.
Be smooth, it says Sam, be smooth. And Sam has been very smooth this weekend.
Vince Welsh and Calvin Fish in the pits today. Vince?
Well, the road to the championship goes through Pikes Peak International Raceway. The drivers who've won this race the last 2 years have gone on to win the championship. Maybe it's just coincidence, but there are about a half a dozen or so drivers here today who take a major step toward the title with a win this afternoon. Calvin?
Championship contender Scott Goodyear struggled here 2 months ago. He said he had a great race car. Unfortunately, he was at the wrong racetrack, and he's going to have a lot of work to do from here from the 6th row of the grid.
All right, the field coming off of turn 4. The pace car moves off And they come up to speed. The fans come to their feet. We watch, and the green flag comes out, and Greg Ray will grab the early lead as they roll smoothly through the first turn.
Greg Ray.
Sam Schmidt looking high already. He's thinking about making a move early on for the lead.
He's in the right position to take the lead there going into turn 3. Sam Schmidt looks like he'll lead the first lap, but will he lead the race?
I know.
That's
Jeff Ward in the wall. Ward is in the wall.
Yeah.
Ronnie John Cox in the 22 machine also involved.
That's 10-4, I'm okay. Damn it.
Frustration for Jeff Ward and Ronnie John Cox. An accident on the start of the race coming out of turn 4.
What a frustrating time, though, for Jeff Ward, because he was still in the points chase back there in the top 5, and dropping out of a race this early could be costly in his chase for the championship.
Vince, a frustrating start.
Well, I'm with Mitch Davis, team manager for Jeff Ward. And Mitch, we were just talking before the race how this was a get-over-the-hump race for you guys. You really needed to win to get on your way toward a championship. What happened in this first lap?
Yeah, I didn't really see it. He said he's okay. I mean, Goodyear gave us a great tire, and we were just going to sit back there and wait till the first couple laps got sorted out, and all I saw was him in the wall coming off of 4, so I'm not sure what happened. He's okay. That's the most important thing.
Jeff Ward, tough break for this team, this Yahoo Racing team. Thought to have a nice run toward the championship in these last 3 races, but out early today.
All right, so Jeff Ward is out. Replay.
That is Jeff Ward right there, and
They were
Ronnie John Cox
on his own.
It was all by himself, almost as if he tried to avoid the accident.
I think he saw smoke and might have overreacted a little bit in his way he turned the wheel or got out of the throttle. So it looks like Jeff was on his own, but we didn't get the beginning of that accident on tape.
Well, we'll take a look at a few more, but first, Dave, we've got to go away for a minute.
That's right. The key is everybody is okay. We'll be back more with the Colorado Indy 200 next on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to the Colorado Indy 200 live from Pikes Peak International Raceway. We've had an accident on the 4th turn in on the first lap.
Looks like he's totally on his own here. But Scott Harrington slowed down a little bit coming off the 4, and Jeff approached him a little too quick, had to get out of the throttle. That's what made the car come around. And Ronnie John Cox's accident right here, he's just all on his own. Those 2 accidents were not related to each other at all. He was.
Ronnie John Cox making his 4th IRL start. Let's go down to Calvin Fish.
I'm with Larry Curry, one of the owners of TriStar Motorsports. You just had an opportunity to see that on the monitor, Larry. What's your view of things?
No, it just looks like the car turned around on him. He said that he saw a car spinning in front of him, which was the accident of Jeff Ward, and I guess he got out of the throttle hard and it turned around.
Do you anticipate these conditions? I mean, the racetrack seems to be changing quickly, and we see 2 guys already in the early going having problems.
Yeah, I don't think it's got anything to do with the conditions for us. I mean, we ran out here the other day, and it was 130-something track temp, so we never changed the car hardly all weekend. So
tough stuff to the race guys, but Larry's actually going to transfer over to Donnie Beachler's pit, where he's helping those guys out engineer that car.
All right, 5 laps completed now. Sam Schmidt is the leader. There he is. Greg Ray is 2nd. Dismore is 3rd. Davey Hamilton is 4th. Now, coming out of turn 2, Sam Schmidt grabs the lead around Greg Ray. Here's the replay as they come up the speed right here.
As you see, Sam actually looked like he was going to get past here, and then he just had a great run going from the outside and kept his foot in it.
That's Dismore on the
Felt
inside.
very confident about his car. Came out of turn 2 just slightly ahead of Greg Ray. Had the better line going into 3.
Vince Welsh.
One thing you might want to keep in mind, obviously this is the early stages, but as we progress in this race and teams start making pit stops, now that Jeff Ward is out of the race, it provides a clean exit for Kenny Breck. No car in front of him or no opposing pit crew in front of him, and it makes a cleaner entrance for Davey Hamilton's crew. So it'll be easier for Breck to get out of the pits, easier for Hamilton to get in. That might save you some time on a pit stop, and that can be the difference in the race.
And Vince, the last time we were here in June, A.J. Foyt and Rick Gallis had words about the fact that maybe Gallis's crew and Foyt's crew were not giving enough courtesy. And they didn't come to blows, but they literally went, as they say, belly to belly about it.
So there's Kenny Breck currently in 12th place. Last time he was here, he came up with a 7th place, and we'll keep an eye on him. We're expecting a restart coming up next from Colorado. Stay with us. And welcome back. 8 laps now completed. Sam Schmidt continues to lead as we're under yellow after an accident on the first lap. Both drivers are okay, Ronnie John Cox and Jeff Ward. And this man in the 81 machine has a unique story, Robbie Unser.
Robbie Unser is a veteran of the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. Every Unser is a veteran of the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. And Robbie Unser decided to take us to his other home in Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak. I don't know if I'd want to take a ride with Robbie Unser, but we did a couple of days ago as he loaded up and took us up the mountain.
Hang on.
I mean, it used to be a finesse, and there was so much dirt, and it was so loose that you just dance. It was like a beautiful dance up a mountain, and you just almost like you just skied, and you use the throttle, and everything worked good. And oh man, when you come through places like this, I mean, think about it: 9,500 miles an hour in a non-wing dirt car, sideways. I mean, I tell you, this is what God's all about, racing up here. It doesn't get no more beautiful than this for me.
I tell you what, that's a thrill right there.
And David, there was nothing scarier than having Robbie Unser at the controls going up that hill and turning to look at us eye to eye to talk to us. Like, watch out front. You don't have to look at me.
While he was going sideways.
Right.
And oh, by the way, there's a cliff right there.
What I like about the whole piece is the passion. You heard the passion in his voice, and that's what drives most race car drivers to do what they do.
Let's go to Calvin Fish for an update on Scott Harrington.
Well, he had a problem at the start, guys. He was actually adjusting his fuel mixture as they came down to the green. He thought they were not going to go green, and he saw the green flag wave. He took his hand away and hit the kill switch, actually stopped the engine, had to refire it. That's why he dropped back so many spots. Also, John Hollinsworth had a similar problem. As he went to the gas, he actually got some fuel starvation problems, and he lost about 6 spots at the green as well. So those boys have a lot of work to do to catch back up.
And Calvin, Scott Harrington was assisted on that start by his spotter. His spotter's name is Marvin Stout, and guess what, guys? He taught Harrington in driver's ed and algebra when Scott went to Eastern High in Peking, Indiana.
Forgot to tell Scott how to turn it on, though, right?
That's right.
It happens sometimes that because of your hand movements, making one adjustment, you knock off that ignition switch. So it's very important to put the ignition switch, for instance, on the right-hand side of the cockpit and put the fuel adjuster on the left-hand side. I don't know how he has it set up, but that's the way I had it set up.
An honest mistake. 11 laps completed as we watch Tice Carlson make a quick pit stop with the 20 machine.
Well, they completely redone that Tice Carlson machine. Remember, during qualifying, that is his backup car. The Hubbard Photographics Imke Auto Group encountered some serious problems with their primary car in practice. So they had the original nose on the car. They borrowed a wing from the Energizer Motorsports McGee car, and we called it Frankenstein because it was ugly, but it sure ran pretty good in qualification.
And give a call to Hubbard, a new team owner here in the Indy Racing League, helping out Tice Carlson.
You know, Mark Dismore, Ari, had a very good start in the MCI WorldCom car. As we watched Sam Schmidt begin to work his way to the front, the man that he passed on the high side to take a run at Greg Ray was the guy we're riding on board with, the MCI WorldCom Bryant Heating and Cooling Special at Dismore.
At the start of the race, it's always better to be on the outside and have the nice smooth line instead of pinching your car on the bottom of the track with still cold tires. Here's Stefan Gregoire, who also made a pit stop, and I don't know what the reason was for that, but Dick Simon might have thought to himself, you know what, since we're running on the yellow here, might as well come in and get some fuel, because they were starting very close to the back anyway.
He's currently 21st right now, right where he started. As we continue under yellow, we see the green flag maybe coming out the next time around as the cleanup is almost finished. Again, to update Jeff Ward, he is okay. He's been checked out. Ronnie John Cox is okay as well. Let's go to Vince Wells.
Scott Goodyear started 12th. He's only moved up a spot, but the early going, very important for this race team. They put in a new motor, new transmission parts, and a completely different setup. So Kevin Blanche and the rest of his crew were not quite sure how Scott Goodyear would fare here in the early laps. So a good sign that Goodyear has run strong in the first lap or two before the accident. But keep an eye on Scott Goodyear and see how he runs here in these initial laps of green.
Scott Goodyear's 11th.
And the pace car pulls off now as we listen to Goodyear bringing that Pennzoil machine back up to speed. Sam Schmidt up front leading the field as they crawl through turn 3 right now, preparing to go back to green on lap 13 right here. So let's watch the restart. Here comes Sam Schmidt, only driver to record top 10 finishes in the last 3 races. And here we go.
But watch the battle for third, Dave. That's Davey Hamilton on the high side of the Spinal Conquest car.
Sam Schmidt executed that start beautifully. He was crawling, as you say, very slowly through 3, but then got on it pretty good coming out of 4. The field got a very good start.
Buddy Lazier racing his way, picking his way towards the front. Lazier, Hemmelgarn Racing. Looking to the inside of Mark Dismore now, hoping to take over third place.
Still there, still there, still there.
Here are the spotters helping out Scott Sharp. Watching now is Unser looking to get around Sharp.
Car that is on the move, however, is car 51, the Infinity Power Plant for Eddie Cheever. Cheever started in the back, didn't qualify well, but he is blazing his way to the front. Cheever now being shown in the 12th position. He has picked off 4 cars in the last 3 laps.
That's quite a move. Yesterday he told me it's not the car that's quick, it's me. He wanted us to make sure we pointed that out.
Here he is making a move on Kenny Bragg. That's his next guy to look for. And he's going to make a pass pretty soon here because he's got a nice run coming off turn 2 right there.
Eddie Cheever always seems to run better in the race than he does in qualifications.
Yeah, and it's one of those deals, can't really put a finger on it why that is.
Kenny Bragg holds him off for the time being. That's the view out of the back of Kenny Bragg's machine. Eddie Cheever running about 156 miles an hour.
One thing that's happening today is it's a little bit cooler than yesterday. We're going to have some cloud cover pretty soon, and that could really play into the hands of the guys that are running Goodyear tires, like Scott Goodyear.
You know, we talked at the top of the show about the fact that Butch Meyer and the John Menard stable built a special engine here for the high altitude. Last time we were here, we told you that we are so high here that we would be in the approach pattern at Texas at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And this is where we're racing. Butch tells me that the one thing you do in order to try and get more air at this thin air high altitude is you increase the compression of the engine. And he said it is nail-biting time for an engine builder when you increase the compression. He says, I don't rest until the race is over.
Battle for third and fourth. In fourth place is Lazier in that purple machine. In pursuit of Mark Dismore. Dismore running at 166 miles an hour. Lap 21 of scheduled 200 today. Lazier in fourth.
There you see them picking up some of the oil dry that they put down coming off the exit of turn 4. But that will be gone pretty soon as all the cars have gone through there a few times.
Scott Sharp, sixth place. Davey Hamilton just in front.
And you heard him lift a little bit off the throttle there as he was on it. That's because he picked up a little bit of push the car. The front end wants to slide away behind the driver in front of him.
There's that transition, Ari, you were talking about coming out of the banking and onto the flat of the backstretch.
It just falls off 4 degrees more than it does coming onto this straightaway here, and that's the difference.
Here's the Nortel telemetry right now, the speed 175, and watch the throttle there.
He's closing in on Davey Hamilton, though.
We've said time and time again, don't be deceived by this onboard camera. That position held by Davey Hamilton is directly in play right now. These cars, they don't make lumbering passes. They actually dart out like a dive bomber and initiate and complete the pass in a blink of an eye.
Lazier, Hamilton, and Sharp. Sharp is in sixth.
Scott Harrington here is moving closer to Robbie Unser, and it looks like pretty soon to make a move on him.
Unser in seventh. Harrington in eighth. That's Harrington in the white car right there.
You see how much it cost him that bad start, really put him in a position where he has to fight to the front again. Really hurt him.
Robbie McGee is taking up the run as well. He's being shown right behind Harrington. And McGee has a brand new car, so to speak. They purchased the 99 update kit. They've got brand new motors here for Pikes Peak.
Back up front, there's Sam Schmidt, stretching his lead by about a half a second now over Greg Ray.
But now they're going to come up onto traffic, and now Sam Schmidt will run in traffic for the first time today. It's going to be exciting to see how his car is going to be in traffic, actually, because right now on his own, he's great.
Vince Welsh?
A lot of happy teams down here believing their cars are running just great, and that includes Sam Schmidt, who's leading the race. Schmidt's crew says he's just running circles right now, trying to enjoy the afternoon if you can, and stretch some space between himself and the second place
But look now, he's
lots
losing
of
the
traffic.
lead.
In traffic on the inside. Look at this, Greg Ray, the old sandwich. He gets by for the lead.
And that was John Hollinsworth, who they split in the CompuCom car.
And that's what happens when you come up on traffic. You're the first guy to hit it, and the guy sitting in second can always kind of check it out a little bit and see what's going on. And that's what Greg Ray did. He capitalized on that, and now he's the leader.
Sam Schmidt working around Eliseo Salazar. Backstretch. Greg Ray up front.
I'm beginning to wonder if that message right here, be smooth, it's an oxymoron because he's smooth, but boy, he's taking your breath away too with the way Sam's driving.
Yeah, he was a little smooth there coming up onto that traffic, but once they got up to it, they both just went around, one on the outside, one on the inside. And I'm sure the guy that was spotting for whoever they went around was telling him, watch out to your left and your right.
Open wheel battles right now. You're watching the Colorado Indy 200. 169 laps to go. Greg Ray is the race leader. He started with the pole position, won here just about a month ago.
But you know, the two were so tight together within a second. But look how fast actually the leaders have passed the guys running in the back. So qualifying is not always your indication of what's going to happen in the race.
Sharp in sixth position. Riding with him right now. Davey Hamilton made his way through the lap traffic. He's in fifth.
With the yellow car down on the inside, that's the Pennzoil Panther machine of Scott Goodyear. Goodyear looking to the inside.
Zero on the fuel.
That's Kevin Blanche telling Scott Goodyear to go to 0 on the fuel. They're already thinking about fuel mileage. But I don't think it's a big factor right now. We don't have to look at that so much. But what's important for Scott Goodyear is that he's doing a lot better than last race. This time around, he was already a lap behind.
But during this race traffic, again, watch the red and blue number 51. Eddie Cheever is very, very racy. This race traffic is giving him an opportunity to maybe put a position, that of Kenny Breck and Billy Mote, in play. They're dicing back and forth right now.
166 laps to go. Robbie McGee in the top 10 as well.
Billy Mote actually passed Eddie Cheever again because of the scoring. Cheever was ahead of him first, but now he's behind him again. So in that traffic, in that passing of the slower cars,
Billy Mote in 12th now. Look for the lead here. Sam Schmidt says, give it to me. He's going to jump back in front right there.
Be smooth. Be smooth. Stay out front.
Greg Ray says, hang on a minute. You know, normally you have to wait late in the race to see this kind of racing. Not with the Pep Boys Indy Racing League. Calvin?
I spoke to Thomas Knapp after Greg Ray's recent win here 2 months ago. He said the only thing we could have done better was maybe deal with the traffic a little better during the race. And so far you can see that's going to be a major factor in the race today as they back and forth for the lead.
We got a 6-car battle going on for the lead.
Davey Hamilton showing that he's very racy today, recording his 32nd start. That's a record.
You look at those cars coming from
8
all
cars.
those cars. 8 cars are in play for the lead.
A little bit of separation between Greg Ray and Buddy Lazier, but they're pretty tight, pretty close together.
Hamilton, the blue and yellow car is sharp.
We said it on top of the show, traffic is going to play an important role in the outcome of the race.
Most definitely. 162 laps to go. Sam Schmidt, Greg Ray, Buddy Lazier all challenging. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Net. Greg Ray continues to hold on to the lead, but some fantastic racing going on just behind him. Sam Schmidt holding on to second, but Davey Hamilton, give a call to him. He is now in third. Dismore has slipped to fourth. There's that
Hamilton challenging Sam Schmidt for second, and he got him.
So Davey Hamilton takes over second place. Lap 45.
But look what's going on behind him. Here's Mark Dismore challenging Sam Schmidt.
Dismore looking to the inside. He won't get it this time. Schmidt closes the door.
And all these guys, there's Robbie Unser.
Billy Float in the Harris car. They are all swapping back and forth. And this is a knot of cars for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh position. And every lap it changes. Buddy Lazier goes to the inside now.
Of Robbie Unser.
That's the battle for fifth position.
And he got him. Scott Harrington is right there and really going fast, putting down some really fast lap times. Robbie McGee has joined the mix.
Now this is all to the advantage of our leader Greg Ray, because while you're dicing back and forth like this, Greg Ray's out on a Sunday drive and has lengthened his lead as we look back at the
5 seconds
from Buddy Lazier.
5 seconds he has pulled away, which is a quarter of a lap if you really think about it.
And it's an eternity here at Pikes Peak.
Davey Hamilton's been second so many times.
Here we go again. Let's see if Schmidt loses another spot.
Sam Schmidt is struggling right now with his car.
And he gets passed by Lazier.
If I'm a guessing man, Sam has a push condition in his car. On his pit stop, he's going to put some more front wing in the car.
Lots of traffic getting by Sam Schmidt as he slips back now. And Robbie McGee gets by on the inside.
About 5 laps ago, Robbie McGee pulled up to that front knot of cars and he stayed right there. We told you he's got a brand new engine supplier, Comtech Engines, and Robbie McGee has a 99 update kit. Let's see if we can see the push with the Nortel Networks onboard telemetry that you're talking about, Ari.
Actually, right now, just listening to his throttle and listening to how he gets out of the throttle very gingerly makes me believe that he might be loose.
You got to look too in the fact that there's only what 85 to 8800 RPM showing on the RPM telemetry. So when you've got a loose race car, you can't get all of the RPMs down to the ground.
You just can't get on the throttle, and they might be loose.
Vince Welch, give us an update on his situation.
Yeah, Sam Schmidt is complaining that the car is loose in the middle of the turns. They've not had a problem with the race car up until this point. Obviously, the traffic has caused them some problems, but the car has handled very nicely up until this. Again, they're going to try to fix it at the stop, as Ari indicated.
All right, all the way back to 8th place now.
Scott Harrington just passed Robbie Unser for position. Scott now has moved into the 5th position.
This is very reminiscent of the way Scott Harrington drove the race back in June. Kind of lurked around just out of the top 5 until the second half of the race. Then lo and behold, surprised all of us because he actually was right up front right until that last couple of laps when he got involved in that accident.
Greg Ray has pulled out a 9-second lead now, and something has to happen here. Somebody has to get their act together and reel him in a little bit.
147 laps to go. 200 laps today. Greg Ray's lead. Now about 10 seconds on Davey Hamilton.
That's quite a bit around here. See, they're doing 20-second laps.
Battle for 6th place right now. On the inside, Unser making the move. Going around some lap traffic.
Robbie Unser, rumor has it that Robbie Unser will be leaving Team Pelfrey and most likely will be starting a group for the year 2000 called Team Unser. There's been a lot of talk about will it just include Robbie Unser, or might it include Johnny Unser, or might, heaven forbid, it include Al Unser Jr.
We know it's not going to include Al Unser Sr. because he's standing right here next to us in the booth.
As we watch Robbie McGee look to the inside of Stefan Gregoire, what a great weekend for the McGee crew. The Energizer Advanced Formula Motorsports crew have welcomed back their crew chief, Steve Freed, who was injured so severely at this year's Indianapolis 500. Had a chance to chat with Steve and genuinely excited about being back on board as a pit crew member. And he's going to be running the what they call the dead man's valve. He's going to change that name.
Let's go down right now to Vince Welch.
Davey Hamilton was complaining about 10 laps or so ago that the car was loose, and the crew had said, don't worry about it, we'll fix it during the stop. But Davey just radioed back and said the car's starting to fix itself. The handling is coming back, and they're very happy with the race car. In fact, coming into this race, they said this was their best car Davey Hamilton has had under the Rick Gallis team. So look for Hamilton to stay up near the front.
You know, that's one of the things we ought to talk to the fans about. These cars carry 35 gallons of methanol. As the fuel load burns off, you can change the weight distribution on these cars by as much as 20% just based on the fuel load. We're talking about a 1,600-pound race car, Ari, so sometimes the car can come back to you.
And as a driver, what you do is on the radio, you tell your crew what your car does after 5 laps or 10 lap increments. You keep giving them the information, and they can get an idea of where the car is headed as the fuel gets lighter, and then you can make adjustments. You can't base the handling of your car after 10 laps. You got to do it later.
And Davey Hamilton starting to close a little bit right now on the race leader. The lead now for Greg Ray is just 8 seconds. Moments ago it was just 10.
look at the line, it was interesting. Last time by, Robbie McGee in car 66 had the fastest time. McGee was being shown back in the 7th spot. There it is, once again.
That's Harrington.
66 is, excuse me, 163 would be Scott Harrington. Robbie McGee drops off at 161, so this time it was Harrington.
All right, so Greg Ray continues to hold the lead right now. Davey Hamilton is second, Dismore third. More of the Colorado 200 next.
All right, Scott Harrington is beginning to have a really, really strong run. He set one of the fastest times, and he's beginning to come into play with the purple car directly in front of him. That's Buddy Lazier, and that is a battle for position.
And Buddy Lazier is looking to the inside of Mark Dismore, and he got him. And right behind him is Scott Harrington, who had to ease up on the throttle a little bit.
So that's the contest for third.
Third place right now. Dismore, Lazier.
Boy, did you see Harrington look to the inside there, and then he thought, nah, I don't think so.
Not yet.
Well, pit stops are coming up, too.
Part of that is also a little bit of psychology. You know, you show your nose, you want to get the guy a little nervous in front of you, and you do that as much as you can.
Yeah, but remember last night in the Winston Cup race when Dale Earnhardt said, well, I just wanted to go up and bug Terry Labonte. Saw what happened there.
Yeah. He was only going to
Well, he wasn't showing him his nose, actually. He was rubbing it.
That's exactly right. 130 laps to go. Greg Ray has been the class of the field so far. Davey Hamilton is in second.
Boy, did you see Robbie Unser just a couple of seconds ago?
Just chop somebody.
What a slide job against John Hollinsworth. Well, that's Robbie. He's a veteran of the World Outlaws. He likes to get it sideways.
Robbie's still holding up very good. He's right behind Scott Harrington right there. And
he's in fifth.
With 129 laps to go. We still got a lot of action going on here.
Pit stop should be coming up shortly, and that could shuffle things around. You talk about Robbie Unser. That's one thing that John King and the crew for Team Pelfrey worked very hard on. Trying to get Robbie in and out of pit road quicker than he was before. They say they've managed to do it so far.
And again, he was showing his nose. He's just teasing Mark Dismore, trying to get around Mark. But in the meantime, Buddy Lazier has moved away from that group, and Buddy has actually closed in a little bit on the.
There you see the battle for fourth and fifth. Dismore hanging on right now. Buddy Lazier in third. That's Davey Hamilton in second, just ahead. Lazier's been very racing today. He's always that way, it seems.
Don't forget, Lazier is coming off his season's best second at Dover Down, so all of a sudden Ron Hemmelgarn and the Delta Faucet Coors Lights operation have looked to the second half of the season and are doing much better.
Closing the gap, Eliseo Salazar, lap traffic in front.
So now, Ari, you're in this situation, you're Davey Hamilton, you see Lazier. What do you do with Salazar?
Well, you can't slow down to let Salazar get out of your way, but he actually did that a little bit and see what happened. There's Buddy Lazier right there. Now, Buddy, on the other hand, he can see that developing. He's got a nice run going on in here, and that's it.
Got him on the inside. He seems to be able to go high and low on the track right now. So Lazier climbs to second.
What happened there is David Hamilton is not that great behind another car because he just couldn't move right close up to Salazar and get around him.
You know, we coined a phrase in Texas on the 1.5 mile speedways. We talked about it in Atlanta. We called it the IRL slingshot. It does come into play even on 1 mile ovals. Turbulence isn't quite as bad. You do the shoot and scoot, pull out to alongside a car, and it's like being squeezed out of a tube of toothpaste. You'll go right by it.
So sometimes when you just make that move and the guy in front of you kind of costs you your momentum, then the guy behind you just capitalizes on that and goes right by you. I was going to get it out.
Robbie Unser is headed for the pits, and Vince Welch is there.
What a great accomplishment it's been for Robbie Unser, considering he was 15th at Orlando and crashed at Phoenix. He's reeled off 4 straight top 10s before finishing 12th at Dover. He's now 6th in the points, trying to chase Greg Ray. Little push earlier in the race, so they're expected to make a stagger change and also maybe some front wing adjustments as well. Robbie Unser, so far they've not touched the wing. Removing the tires, topping off the fuel, and Unser still not down and away yet. A longer stop than expected, but finally Robbie gets it away. He had been running 6th.
significant things going on the racetrack right now. Your leader, Greg Ray, is actually going to put a lap onto Scott Goodyear here pretty soon. And we talked about the points, the precious points. These are the two leaders in the championship. Greg Ray won, Scott Goodyear 2. Scott Goodyear almost a lap down.
Scott Goodyear may have just been given the governor's reprieve at the 12th hour. If we heard Thomas Knapp correct, we should see Greg Ray pull on a pit road this time by. Although the crew has not put out the tires and the wheels yet, maybe now Greg Ray says, if I just stay out a little bit longer, I can put him a lap down.
Hey, you've got to pit this time.
There you go.
Over.
There you hear it. It's getting a little risky right now.
Scott Goodyear's lap times have all of a sudden jumped up a little bit because he's driving as hard as he can to stay ahead of Greg Ray.
And did you hear the disappointment?
Watch your pit speed.
And Greg Ray's voice coming in.
Buddy Lazier will pit
He's not
now.
coming in though.
Here's Lazier.
Greg Ray's still out there. Let Buddy Lazier on the way to the pit now.
Vince Welsh.
It's just fuel and tires for Buddy Lazier. That's how happy he's been with the race car. Had been running second before this pit stop. Lazier takes a drink of water to refresh himself. So far, no adjustments, just a little in the front wing, and a very quick stop for the Hemmelgarn team, and they're quite pleased.
Goodyear brings his car into the pits. We're watching him roll into the pit area now, the Pennzoil machine.
The pit behind is clear. You got a clear shot in.
It's Kevin Blanchett. He was very slow coming onto pit road, Dave. 60-mile-an-hour speed limit on pit road, but he was on the 60-mile-an-hour mark in turn 4.
Yeah, he was slow going into 3, and maybe he ran out of fuel. I don't see the guy behind here, you know, getting the starter ready in case he stalls the engine. Okay, there he is.
And the race leaders in Calvin Fish.
Greg Ray pulls into his pit stall. He says the car is handling fine, but they did have a small vibration. I spoke to Tom Knapp. He said it's not a big issue, but these guys typically put 2 scrubs on these tires, make them a little bit more durable on it. And a very good pit stop for Team Menard.
So Greg Ray back on track. 84 laps completed. Davey Hamilton now bringing his car into the pits. Vince Welsh, update us on Scott Goodyear.
No problems for Scott Goodyear. It was just tires and fuel. They said they were just looking to get some more grip. They thought the tires would provide it. And now we'll get ready for Davey Hamilton to come into the box.
Well, if that was the case, Scott Goodyear played it very conservatively coming down onto pit road. Davey Hamilton is in for service. As he pulled in, he was shown as the leader, Vince, but that's gone by the wayside now.
They give an adjustment to the right front wing and fuel and tires for Davey Hamilton, and a good stop for the Gallus team, and they're cheering their efforts.
So he's back underway. The race leader now, folks, that familiar car, Sam Schmidt. Now your race leader. Here he is.
And I can tell you that Sam Smith's going to be out there for quite a little while because Sam has had great mileage. But at this stage, you wonder, do I have to stay out here a little bit too long because my car is loose and I'm losing track time the whole time? So maybe it's better for them to bring him in. Now he's the leader.
Very special day for one of Sam Schmidt's pit crew members and one of your favorite people, your former PR representative, Ruthie Culbertson. They announced the
fact that she's getting married with
Mike Collier.
And he's the data guy on the team. And we wish them all the happiness in the world.
All the married bliss.
Well,
all the stuff that we experience.
That's right. Might as well join the club.
That's exactly right. Schmidt's the only driver to record top 10 finishes in the last 3 races. Here's the number 8. Scott Sharp's coming in. Calvin Fish pick it up.
Well, Shelby has had a really loose condition with the race car. They're going to make a stagger change here, and they may in fact change the rear wicker bill. That's how severe the condition is. He's been going backwards in a hurry here. Will Moody tells him to reset the fuel during the pit stop.
Good job. It looked like the left front brake was
sticking. Going to the back end. They got the starter ready in case he stalls it. Everything looks good. No change to the rear wing. Just a tire change.
Calvin, on that while you were calling that race, it sounded like Will Moody said that the left front brake was sticking. Did you hear that?
I didn't copy that, Jack, but they're not happy with the car. Dismore, in fact, the teammate has a reverse condition on his car. He's suffering with a little bit of push in his race car, so they're going to look at some adjustments with the 28 machine.
And his teammate just went by, Scott Sharp. That's Mark Dismore. We ride on board as Sharp starting to come back up to speed.
Your leader, Sam Schmidt, what he's hoping for right now is for a yellow, so he can pit under the yellow, whereas everybody else has pitted under the green. That's why they put so much emphasis on trying to have a very good fuel mileage.
Let's give you a quick recap right now. 81 laps completed. Sam Schmidt right
now
there,
he's coming
the
in.
race leader, and he's going to bring it into the pits. Vince Welch.
Sam Schmidt, they couldn't wait any longer for a potential yellow, and here he comes, the race leader, as you mentioned. Started on the outside of row 1. He has been the hottest driver on the circuit of late with 3 top 5 finishes in his last 4 races. They're just looking for some more grip here, so they're going to change the stagger while topping off the fuel. A very smooth stop so far with Skip Paul, the crew chief, on the right front, talking with Schmidt, and away he goes. A strong stop for the Sprint PCS team.
Very good stop.
Made a wing adjustment on the left front as well, Ari.
Probably took some wing out because the car was loose, as they said earlier. And Greg Ray is a clear leader again.
That's right. Greg Ray jumps back into the race lead right now, and his lead is about 7 seconds right now over Buddy Lazier. You're watching the Colorado Indy 200 on Fox Sports Net. Some great racing going on. Come right back with us.
Just have been going that way with the right rear for 22
Welcome back
laps.
to the Colorado Indy 200. Problems for Scott Goodyear. There was smoke coming out of the machine.
Come on, Chris, take a look, and we'll take the engine cover off.
And you hear Kevin Blanche. And there's serious problems for this.
What are we looking for here? What is it?
At this point, we don't know what that could be. That could be gearbox, that could be engine. But we do know one thing. It's hurting Scott Goodyear in the points race.
You know,
big time.
You could hear Kevin Blanche and Scott Goodyear talking. They're not sure what it is either. So it's kind of a hunt and search right now as they take the engine cover off. And
When I say big time loose, I think it's just the right rear tire going overboard.
that's Scott Goodyear talking about the loose condition. As we look at Mark Dismore in the center of your screen in the black and white red side panel, number 28. And right behind him is the Harrington Serpentine car. And Dismore's teammate, Scott Sharp, tried to make a move on Harrington, but Harrington said, I don't think so.
Not this time around. Up front, the leader is Greg Ray. Lazier now second. Hamilton is third. There's Kenny Brack. There's the pit summary, in and out. Ray went in first and came out first. Hamilton second, lost a spot. Schmidt went from third to seventh, and Sharp fourth to 13.
And look at Scott Sharp. Went in fourth, came out 13th. That was costly. But even more costly has been this pit stop, Vince Welch, for our second place man in the point standings.
That's right, Scott Goodyear, all kind of problems. They've got the side pods off, the cowling, rear cowling off, and the team members are scrambling. They weren't really sure what the problem was, but there was definitely smoke, as you reported, coming from the the back of the car. Water heater problem, as I've just been told, is one of them. Is one of the problems with the race car. But another thing you might consider, Buddy Lazier was following Goodyear and reporting to his crew that the fluid on the racetrack coming from Goodyear's car was creating problems for his own car, trying to keep a hold of it. And now they're getting all kind of water for the Scott Goodyear car. They've got all kind of problems down here. We'll update you when it becomes official.
Well, you want to see what it was like to ride behind Scott Goodyear? Let's go on board the Delta Faucet's Coors Light car of Buddy Lazier.
Yeah, and here all of a sudden Scott slows down, and I can't really.
There is Scott Goodyear right there, and you can see the liquid just all over the place. But why did Buddy go so close to the rear wing?
I was just going to say, why did Buddy just stay right behind him? Because all of a sudden the engine could expire and booming on the back of him. So I thought that was pretty tricky.
We saw it at Walt Disney World in Orlando in the first race. Walter Salas collecting with Kenny Brack.
Walter broke the engine, slowed down dramatically, and Kenny hit it. Yeah.
Brack in 11th place right now. Greg Ray there in the yellow car is your race leader. 159 miles an hour, lap 107.
Dave, do you think right now that Thomas Knapp and the Glidden Menards crew have radioed at any time to Greg Ray to tell them about the misfortune that has fallen upon Scott Goodyear?
I think they have, because he's taking his time passing slower traffic and really taking it easy. He's coming up on Mark Dismore there. Put a lap on him.
Now remember, when Greg Ray came here in June, it was the first time that he didn't go through all of his preparation rituals. Greg Ray's a big fitness buff. He's at the gym every morning.
Yellow.
And there's a yellow out on the racetrack.
Turn three.
Yellow on the racetrack.
And it'll give us time to reshuffle.
Yellow. Track inspection is the yellow.
Well, you talk about track inspection. I'm sure that was probably a result of the Scott Goodyear and the video we saw with Buddy Lazier.
You did hear me right. I need more front end and more overall grip. But the car's good, but it's the front end slowing on me. A real light.
There you hear from Mark Dismore. The reason for the yellow, some debris on the racetrack, and Greg Ray has the lead right now. Lazier is second. Hamilton is third. And we'll follow all these stories next right here on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back. Tune into Fox Sports News Primetime. Tonight at 10 o'clock, hosts Keith Olbermann and Kevin Frazier bring you all the day's scores, highlights, and breaking stories. That's tonight on Fox Sports Net. We hope you'll check it out. Greg Ray continues to lead. We have 5 drivers now on the lead lap.
We look at Greg Ray in the Glidden Menards car. Well, he just banked $20,000. Firestone's first at 99. He was the first car across the line with Firestone tires. And then just 1 lap later, the Delphi Halfway Award, another 10 grand. Can you hear cha-ching right now?
We're under yellow right now for a track inspection. We hope you've enjoyed the race so far. And that's what makes the Pep Boys Indy Racing League so special. All this great open wheel passing. And these guys love the Indy Racing League.
Oval racing is American racing. Oval racing is competitive racing, and oval racing is racing that you see guys race, not follow the leader until we hit each other and then fall out. You actually run next to each other side by side, and sometimes in this series you'll see 3 and 4 wide in corners. That's the IRL.
I think that when people watch the IRL, their on-track package is better than any other series. I mean, I don't care what kind of series or what kind of cars. I feel the racing with Indy Racing League is unbelievable. It's very close. It's very competitive. Got great race drivers. You're wheel to wheel, lap after lap at times, and you never get a break.
People like NASCAR because it's an oval type of racing, a lot of passing, a lot of leader change. I mean, that's what we have, except we go faster. So I think they should like it even better.
That's exactly right. Mark Dismore currently in 5th place, and Calvin, he had a pretty nice pit stop.
He came in, he's the last car on the lead lap, so he really couldn't lose any track position. They took advantage of that to really try and balance this race car. He's still got a little bit of an understeer. They made a front wing adjustment, topped him up with fuel, let the same tires on, put him back out, so he should be the last car on the lead lap and with a good handling car, hopefully.
And Ari, here's a tactical move by your former team. Sam Schmidt came in, topped off with 114 laps completed. That could be, and I say could be, his final stop.
And he might have made a wing change too, because I don't believe he was really happy with his car up until that point as well, because he didn't really move to the front as much as I expected him to.
We should mention he is 1 lap down. Here comes the restart out of turn 4, and Greg Ray leads the way once again. Lazier is second, Hamilton is in third, and Harrington in fourth, Dismore in fifth.
Boy, and Scott Harrington and Scott Sharp got so close together.
Very close.
Davey Hamilton in that orange and yellow Spinal Conquest car directly in front of the Delphi car, driven by Scott Sharp. Hamilton being shown in the 3rd position, Dave. Scott Sharp, he's down a lap.
That's exactly right. Trying to pick up a lap. Trying to get back on the lead lap, but he has a lot of work ahead of him here. 116 laps completed. He's in 9th. Now the main straightaway. Well, we understand that Scott Goodyear trying to get back on track. Let's go to Vince Welsh.
Well, they had a water line fitting problem, and it took a long time. They had to go back to the garage to take a piece off of a water line in the garage area, so it took a long time for them once they got back to the garage to find the piece that they needed, and then came all the way back to the pit lane to put it on. So the championship hopes for the Pennzoil team, and Scott Goodyear take another hit here today.
Yeah, slip sliding away right now for Scott Goodyear.
Whoa. David, did you see the move that Eddie Cheever made? He was 2 wheels down below the white line, and that was, as they say, an accident that happened, but they didn't tell anybody.
Cheever's a lap down.
I was just looking at the screen to where Scott Goodyear is hanging out, and he's hanging out in 22nd right now, last place.
And still, it looked like we had a little oil or something, some kind of liquid on the back of that lens of the camera, on the back of that car.
Might be stuck in there.
Oh, yeah.
No, more trash coming out of that car.
They haven't solved the problem on Scott Goodyear's Pennzoil Panther car. Just ask Mark Dismore. He can tell you. Now take a look at the change in the points. Greg Ray started this race ahead of Scott Goodyear by only 1 point. If it ended right now, he'd have a 45-point margin.
I can't see Scott Goodyear moving up much, but of course this is not the end of the race. and we don't know if Greg Ray is going to stay where he is at right now. He looks comfortable, but anything can happen.
And if Scott Goodyear's not careful, he could lose second spot to Kenny Breck. Breck is closing in. That was awfully tight there from that third position as well.
78 laps to go. 78 laps to go today. Lazier there, you bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Lazier in second. Davey Hamilton around lap traffic.
Salazar outside, right of your screen as Scott Sharp tries to get by him. Davey Hamilton having a great run for the Gallus Racing operation. We were talking about Al Unser Jr. being here at the Speedway. Well, early on Friday, Al Unser Jr. was waiting at the Gallus trailer. As soon as Rick Gallus showed up, they retired to the upper berth, closed the door.
Well,
Wouldn't say anything about what they were going to talk about. They were in there for quite some time.
That's where the air conditioning was on and it was pretty warm.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, here we have David Hamilton running in third place, but not far behind him is Scott Harrington. In between those two, we have Salazar, but Harrington was closing in a little bit on Harrington earlier.
One of your keys to the race, a possible first-time winner, and that could happen today. Hamilton's in the hunt. So is Harrington. Dismore still in the top 5 on the lead lap.
Harrington's only 7 seconds off the lead, held by Greg Ray. He's right there, Dave.
And Lazier starting to close the doors. We look out the back there. Lazier's in second. He's behind by 5 seconds. In second place.
Up until the Dover Down race, the best finish of the season for Buddy Lazier was a 5th back here in June at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Hot off that second at Dover, he certainly would like to move into the win column. He's had a victory every year, but he hasn't been to victory lane yet in this IRL season.
And I think we're going to see something develop here with Buddy Lazier and Hamilton, because Buddy is coming up to the biggest pack of traffic that's out here today. Look right in front of him, and it's costing him a lot of time already. Hamilton will be coming up, as we see right there, right behind Buddy Lazier. Just a lap ago, he was quite a ways behind.
You want to know what that sensation is like? Imagine being late for work, going down the interstate, coming around the corner and seeing bumper-to-bumper traffic at a standstill, and knowing that your boss is going to write you up because you're about 45 minutes late.
And Hamilton thinking about the inside move around the traffic. You're watching a battle for second. Lazier currently in second place. Hamilton in the orange car. In third.
You see right here that Buddy was able to pull away a little bit from Davey, and Hamilton or Buddy is on his own, just a little bit quicker than Davey. But in traffic, it's a different story.
Boy, is that graphic telling? That says it all when Buddy Lazier is faster than your leader.
And the leader had no traffic in front of him either.
So what's up with Sam Schmidt? He was a player early on, Vince.
Well, they've made a strategy move here in the Sprint PCS pit box. They came in pitted with 86 laps remaining. They topped off the fuel but did not take tires. They ran 92 laps on their first set of on their first fuel tank, so they believe they can stay out for the rest of the way. But the problem is they're going to need a yellow. If they get a yellow, they can stay out the rest of the way and will not have to come back in. And if that's the case, they're going to be ahead of the game here, guys.
Well, that's what we surmised. And, you know, one of the things that shows you is just how good these Firestone tires are, Ari. One of the things that the Sprint PCS group discovered last time we were here is that you don't need to always make a tire change. These Firestones hold up to the pressures of the 1 mile PPIR.
That's always been the case with Firestones. I've only run on Firestones the last 4 years, and that was a strong point. You could run them for a second stint if you had to. But right now, Sam Schmidt is looking at going down another lap with Greg Ray right behind him.
If Ray gets around him, he'll be down 2 laps.
Did you see who's in 7th place? Little Jimmy Kite. We call him Mini-Me, driving for the McCormick Motorsports Team Losi Fast Rod operation. Jimmy Kite came here 2 years ago for his first ever IRL race. What did Jimmy Kite do? He went out and passed Ari Lyondike. And he likes to tell the story, Dave, because he says, when I blew by Ari Lyondike, I said, hey, I can do this. I can be an IRL racer. Jimmy Kite's still there. You're up here in the booth. What's up with that?
I was there a long time before he was. He's doing what I did a long time ago.
Don't get him going.
Don't get me going here.
Don't get him fired up. There's Greg Ray, the yellow Menard machine right there. 7-second lead on Buddy Lazier. This is lap traffic is where he around.
And he was going to get closer. He was getting close to Sam Smith, but now he's dropping back. He's having a hard time passing Stephane Gregoire here. Does this tell me that he's slowing down, that he has a problem in traffic? Let's wait and see.
Or the question that I might have is he in a fuel conservation mode?
That's another possibility because he has a good lead. He's comfortable there. But he's still stuck behind Stephane Gregoire. That's peculiar. That's peculiar.
136 laps completed. The lead is 6 seconds. Greg Ray over Lazier.
You know, Dave, for this, our last IRL event on Fox Sports Net, it's turned out to be a barn burner.
Looks like we're going to have another fantastic finish like we had a month ago when it was a 12 hundredths of a second separating 1 and 2. Of course, Greg Ray was at.
If Scott Goodyear in that yellow car right there looks in his rearview mirror, he is going to see his hopes for a points title go to the inside because it is Greg Ray. And all of a sudden, Goodyear doesn't feel the heat anymore. What he feels is the 5,000-pound anvil on his shoulders, having led the points chase coming into Pikes Peak, and now he could be as many as 45 points behind this man by the time the day is over.
And he's just not letting him by either, but here he is. Greg Ray got a good run off him too, but Scott was trying to give it his all.
So Goodyear having some problems. He won the Longhorn 500. Since then, 3 finishes out of the top 10. Greg Ray's your leader at the Colorado Indy 200 on Fox Sports Net.
Back at Pikes Peak International Raceway, it's the Colorado Indy 200, and there is one IRL driver that all of us have been missing. Yes, Steve Knapp is still on the mend with the ISM car. Got a chance to talk to Steve, Dave, and he got the okay from Dr. Terry Trammell to travel, and he should be with us at the Vegas.com race at Las Vegas International Speedway. He's really looking forward to getting back to the track.
We wish him the best. Here's Jimmy Kite looking to the inside to make a move on Unser, and he's going to make the move. Jimmy Kite climbs into 6th position. What a great day for him.
You know, we have a lot of fun with Jimmy Kite, calling him Mini-Me from the Austin Powers character, but he certainly isn't Dr. Evil. Sometimes, though, you can say, you, Jimmy, complete me.
Okay, enough.
have you ever seen him without a smile on his face, though? That guy's always happy-go-lucky.
He was struggling on Friday. I spoke to him, but the car's working good for him, and look at where he is in 6th place right now and competitive.
Well, he had an engine malfunction, and you want to talk about how it malfunctioned. It took a rod and blew it through the under tray. An under tray on these cars, Ari, is all carbon fiber. It's supposed to withstand the pressure of a bullet. And it put a hole that was so wide in there that you could put about a 15-pound ham in there. So they had to make some hasty repairs on the Dennis McCormick car, especially the under tray. That's what we call the reverse wing underneath the body.
The interval between Greg Ray and Lazier has increased a little bit. Greg Ray's got a little bit more breathing room, about 3.9 seconds as they come to the line.
And we want to mention Davey Hamilton also hanging right in there. Hamilton is still in 3rd.
Look at this guy right here. The newlywed Stephane Gregoire started back at 21st, has moved into 14th. Not a bad job by Cheever, but that's not as surprising to us. Cheever always likes to not qualify well and then treat us to a rapid run to the front.
Kite following Jacques Lazier. It's been a quiet day for him.
You know, the big question mark now, guys, is Buddy Lazier. This driver is looking into the purple number 94. When does he choose to pit? He is going to have to make another pit stop. And Davey Hamilton, well, the word is that he will most likely have to pit as well. But we talked about at the top of the show that fuel strategy is so fluid. Some guys are gambling on one more caution period to go the distance without going back to the pits.
Right, like Sam Smith, who has the leader right behind him. And Sam is right now in the 11th place. Here we have a look at Davey Hamilton.
Hamilton's still in 3rd, running at 161.9 miles an hour. Robbie McGee just behind him, looking to the inside. McGee is a lap down now.
And that car that they just went by, the 26 car, that's the Urselli team racing entry for Bobby Register. Greg Ray just got another $10,000, like he needs it, from the NBNA people for the leader of the most laps. Robbie Hunter's in the pits, Vince.
They're going to make a front wing adjustment that they did not get made the last time they came through. Still struggling a little bit with the handling of the race car, fuel and tires, and away he goes. Not a bad stop that time for Robbie Unser, still trying to make his way up into the top 5.
Let me tell you the one thing John King taught Robbie Unser this year after they practiced pit stops. Robbie used to dart into the pit box, and he said he oftentimes missed his spot. What John King requires now is Robbie Unser to back off the throttle 3 pit boxes before he comes into the pits. We saw it there.
It's very difficult to judge that, you know, how fast do I go in? You're only traveling at 60 miles an hour, but where do I start to really back off so I can stop on time on the marks? Because if you miss the marks, it messes up the whole pit stop.
Sharp is in 8th. The Nortel telemetry right there with the car 8 right now. Sharp 1 lap down.
So 19 caution laps, most of them coming early in this event. For only 2 cautions and a good average speed, Dave, 132.986. But Ari, how about the lead changes?
They've had quite a few lead changes, 8 among 4 drivers. But Greg Ray has been the dominant driver today. Initially, it was Sam Schmidt, and then his car went away. And here we're looking out of the back of Sam Schmidt's car, about to being lapped for the 2nd time by Greg Ray.
There's Mini-Me, Dennis McCormick, Brad McCandless servicing the Stockbridge, Georgia car. And you can see just how small he is, because there's the inlet, and his head doesn't even come close to it.
Trying to see over the dashboard.
In fact, they put him up a little bit higher because he could be lower with his size. But then he can't see over the dash, and you can't have that.
Let's check in on Eddie Cheever now and see how he's doing. He's in 8th right now. Eddie Cheever in 8th.
Eddie Cheever having a steady race.
Moving his way through turn 3 and 4.
Picked up 18 spots, actually 12 spots.
Robbie McGee into the pits now.
And you see this man right here? Well, that's Steve Freed. He's gone back to work. He's working with the crew, taking care of things, checking it out.
This guy's been through so many surgeries, and he's always kept a positive attitude. It's good to see him back. And look at this, right, Buddy Lazier coming in, Vince Welch.
Buddy Lazier making his way down the pit lane, and now he's in the box. He last pitted on lap 78. That gives you an indication of their fuel window. Buddy's rocking his head back and forth saying, come on, come on, come on. They make a little adjustment in the right front wing. Fuel and tires, a smooth stop for Buddy Lazier, very quick.
10.2 seconds in and out service for Lazier.
That was a great pit stop, and that should be his last pit stop. But Sam Schmidt is still trying to hold off Greg Ray here because he doesn't want to go another lap down. He's just hoping for a yellow.
Back to 2nd place. We got lots of traffic. Lots of traffic.
That black car on the outside of Sam Schmidt is Big Daddy Donnie Beechler in car 98.
Lazier having some problems after coming out of the pits. He's slow on the backstretch. Looks like he's got it back.
I don't know what happened there. Maybe the fuel mixer was not set correctly and he couldn't get up to speed because the car was sputtering. But sometimes you get out into the groove, or you want to get into the groove, and the track is just blocked by a lot of traffic and he couldn't get in.
Harrington in 3rd place right now, coming into the pits. Calvin.
Pretty tight there, getting into his pit box. He's pretty happy with the car. He needs a little bit of front wing potentially. He's got an understeer condition. They may do a tire pressure change instead. And we'll look for the leader of the race shortly as well. Waiting for the last drops of fuel. 40 laps to go. They don't need a full fuel load. They should be a quick stop. A lot of seconds being lost here. They shouldn't need this much gas, guys. Long stop for Harrington, and he's out of here.
Almost twice as long as what Lazier had.
And what was interesting is Calvin alluded to the fact that at this point, with less than 40 laps to go in the race, you don't need a full load of 35 gallons of methanol. But that's what the Harrington group decided to take on board. Could it be that he likes the car with a full load of fuel? Or could it be that just their inexperience cost them an extra 10 seconds on pit road?
Well, I think the extra 10 seconds came from the fact that when they started fueling the car, the fuel wasn't going in, and then it came in, and that happens quite a bit.
Davey Hamilton in 2nd, but he needs to pit. Vince?
Davey Hamilton's crew waving their arms to let him know exactly where he's coming. Remember, he's got a little extra room since Jeff Ward went out early in the race, pulled into the box, hit the mark perfectly, changing all 4 tires as you'd expect. The fuel is on, no chassis adjustments whatsoever, and it's been a smooth one, and away goes Davey Hamilton. Calvin Fish.
The leader pits. Greg Ray comes in. He has a comfortable lead. They just need the team Menard to do one more flawless pit stop, and he may be able to take his 2nd win here at Pikes Peak International. Just a short stop there. That was the stop Harrington needed. Very short stop for Team Menard.
Great stop. 35 laps to go now. 35 laps. Final stages of this race.
And you saw that his crew really took their time. They were very professional about it. No panic, no nothing, because they feel very comfortable about Greg Ray's
Look who the leader is
on the racetrack.
Mark Dismore takes over command of the race now.
Well, he takes over the lead. I'm not sure he's taking over command.
Oh, here we go. Back to Texas again.
14 consecutive top 10 starts for this guy. A pair of 5th place finishes. Dismore still looking for that first win.
Remember, he pitted late, much later than everybody else. So the question mark is, I can't see how he could go the distance with the load that he's got. So as you said at Texas, while he is the leader right now, in many respects, he really isn't the leader.
No, but of course, if there's a yellow right now, it can change the whole complexion of the race. So,
can you imagine what 81-year-old Jim Kelly, co-owner of this team, with his son Tom, must be thinking right now? Man, why did I decide to miss this race? Mark Dismore is leading.
Battle for third. This is the battle for third. Greg Ray, Davey Hamilton.
And in some cases, this could be the battle for the lead as well. Using the Lyondike formula.
Look at Hamilton.
Looking pretty racy out there.
Sometimes you just don't know what's going on. You know, sometimes they put a new set of tires on the car, and that's it, just not right, and then your day is ruined. So far, let's have a look at these two. They're pretty doing the same speed right now. Looked like Hamilton had a little bit of run on him, but Greg Ray's pulling away again.
Well, Dismore's crew seems to think they may be able to stretch it out to the finish line, Calvin Fish.
It's going to be very tight. I said to Tom Kelly, how far can you stretch it? He shrugged his shoulders. They pitted on lap 111. Then there was some caution, so they have about 89 laps to run. The highest number we've heard all weekend is 72 laps under green. They need a caution.
Now remember, that's the team that is operating without their chief engineer, Chris Coxon, this weekend. And Mark Dismore joked yesterday that Tom Kelly is serving as the engineer. Now, usually, isn't it the engineer that makes that type of a call? Isn't he the guy that's, or the data acquisition guy that says, hey, we can go the distance?
It's really the data acquisition guy, and they do have that guy there looking at the monitor, looking at stuff like this, but then he's looking at fuel economy, looking at tire pressures, all kinds of things. They have a guy like that. Tom is not looking at that. Tom is just biting his nails.
You know, they'd like to see this car make it to victory lane, obviously, because his teammate, Scott Sharp, has already been victorious in 1999 at Atlanta Raceway in his best lap. Well, not his last lap. He slowed down considerably, Dave.
That's exactly right. 160.3 last time around. Through some lap traffic around Tice Carlson and company.
Well, that was one that'd make the short hair stand, and now we've got his teammate. The first of the Kelly cars pulls out of pit road, Scott Sharp.
Scott Sharp was running in third place.
Reset your fuel. You're doing a great job, Scott.
Calvin Fish.
Scott Sharp brings it in, almost locked up the rear brakes. He did so. Quick start for the number 8 machine. They've been fighting a loose car all day.
25 laps to the end.
How'd you like that comment? 25 laps to the end. There you said it again. Let's have a little fun.
How could you not have fun? What's going on in this race here at Pikes Peak? Going to be a dramatic finish. We hope you'll stay with us right here on Fox Sports Net. Mark Dismore, will he get his first win? We'll find out. We're back. The yellow has come out here at Pikes Peak because this man, Scott Sharp, just brushed the wall coming out of turn 3 with 19 laps to go.
Mojo, there's only 20 laps left in the race.
Before we went to break, you could hear his team tell him to have fun. Well, he said he just couldn't get the thing to turn. Calvin Fisher in that pit right now.
Scott Sharp brings it in. They're going to put him behind the wall. Severe damage to the right rear corner, but as one half of the Kelly team were frustrated, the other half were jubilant as this yellow really gives Mark Dismore a chance to take his first IRL win. They are going to bring him in. They're not going to roll the dice too far. They're going to bring Mark in. They're looking at tires, but they're going to definitely need fuel to get him to the last lap.
And boy, that was quick thinking on the Team Kelly team to get the Scott Sharp car out of the way.
Dismore's in his pit right now, and they are putting fresh tires on. Got the fuel in, wing adjustment, and he's out of here. Understeer has been the problem all day long.
Mark Dismore thinking about that first career IRL victory.
With Ray if it looks like it's legal.
18 laps to go.
And you know what? It makes sense with 3 cars on the lead lap, Dismore, Ray, and Hamilton. You don't want to run that string and gamble because the worst that could happen now, most likely, would be Dismore to settle for a 3rd place finish. the best that could happen is his first ever career victory.
There you see Scott Sharp out looking at the machine right now. Let's show you the replay. What happened as we watch him come out of turn 4.
Going into turn 3 right here. He said it just went straight, didn't turn. He just couldn't get it to turn. Look at his hands. He took his hand off the wheel as he made impact. That was his comment. It wouldn't turn. It could be a right rear failure here, or that of course could be from hitting the wall, but we don't know that now.
Sharp will finish around 13th, 15th, depending on how things shake out here today.
Dave, one of the things I'm impressed with is the fact that 22 of the 24 starters remain in competition here. That shows a good testimony to having put to the side a lot of the engine woes and other things that we've experienced in the past. As Eddie Cheever pulls on a pit road, Vince Welch, this definitely will be his last stop.
Yeah, definitely. Fuel was the main thing with this stop for Eddie Cheever, and tires too, but they also thought he might have had an engine problem, but evidently they worked through that, but there were a lot of tense field moments down here earlier.
All right, the green comes back out, and look who has the lead once again. Greg Ray takes over. Davey Hamilton's going to challenge to the outside on the restart. Not this time.
Davey Hamilton is very quick every time on a restart, Ari.
And he's also been very quick every time he raced at this track. He really likes this track.
But look who's running away. Greg Ray has the strong car right now.
You know what? And if Davey Hamilton would be in front of Greg Ray, he might be able to do the same. It's just the guy who's in front who's not getting trouble by the air in front of him.
But you know the cars that are going to come into play are all of them right up in that area. That's lap traffic. And that'll happen with Greg Ray and Davey Hamilton. They go to the inside of Billy Boat. Ooh, Boat almost connects.
That's very close, but now he slides up the track.
But did you see how quick Ray had to back out of the throttle as he tried to get around Scott Harrington?
Same situation. Closed in on him very quick. Took the air away from the front wing, and that was it.
Mark
Dismore challenging for second.
He's in third right now, hoping to move up. That's Hamilton directly in front.
Don't forget, back at a 1 mile in March, Greg Ray was trying to work his way through traffic, got up alongside the Jonathan Byrd car with John Paul, and found himself in the wall. So traffic can be deadly and devastating when you're chasing a front-running position.
13 laps to make the move. Greg Ray, he's been dominant. Past couple of races, winning 2 out of the last 4. Davey Hamilton and Dismore looking for their first wins. Calvin Fish.
Sharp, Scott. Obviously frustrated. You had a loose car all day, and then the car suddenly went through a push when you went through 4.
Yeah, it was a real shame for the Delphi car. I guess it just wasn't meant to be our day. We had a left front brake caliper stick, which overheated. The left front tire really raised the tire pressure, made the car go loose early. Otherwise, the Delphi car was pretty good. And then just at the end there, I mean, the car was really getting pretty hooked up, and just big push. There's nothing I could do. Just rode up high, and once you got up high, it's gone.
Break for Scott Sharp. 2 DNFs in a row, guys.
11 laps to go. The lead about a half a second. Greg Ray looking for his third win.
Now Scott Harrington
is not far behind as well.
Harrington finds himself deja vu all over again, looking at Greg Ray in the late stages of a race, trying to put him a lap down.
Hamilton's going to try to use that traffic now. 9 laps to go.
And look at Hamilton right there, and behind him Mark Dismore. A 3-way battle for the lead.
There we are, neck and neck. Those are the leaders right in front. Ray hangs on right now.
This is great.
Dismore looking to the inside. Room? Not this time. Hamilton closed the door.
But ahead of these 3 guys, there's more traffic, so something's going to happen.
8 laps to go. The Colorado Indy 200. Dismore desperately wants to get that first win. So does Davey Hamilton in the orange car.
You don't think the draft comes into play here? If you listen to the MCI WorldCom car at Dismore, you can hear that it actually sucked them right up into the rev limiter.
That's right.
The lead 4/10 of a second now. 7 laps to go.
All right, let's see. Will Harrington? Yes, he lets Hamilton by. Will he do to Dismore? Yes, he'll let Dismore by. See, you learn from your mistakes. The mistakes that Harrington committed at Dover, they're now history.
7 laps, the final stages, the Colorado Indy 200 from Pikes Peak, live on Fox Sports Net.
Harrington is running in 6th place, exactly the same position he was running in Dover.
Dismore is 1.2 seconds back. This time around, it'll be 6 laps to go.
I mean, Each of the past 2 seasons, the Pikes Peak races played a hand in determining the eventual series champion. Tony Stewart won the Radisson 200 here in '97, went on to win the championship. Kenny Breck won last year's race here, was crowned the IRL champion after finishing 10th 2 months later in Las Vegas. Greg Ray is on the verge of sweeping the 2 races here, and if he does, he could be on his way to that championship and making it 3 years in a row that the championship for the IRL goes through Colorado Springs.
And he's stretching out his lead now. 0.8 of a second is the lead now. Greg Ray, 5 laps to go.
He's behind Sam Schmidt, though, and I don't know if Sam's going to let him by as easy as Scott Harrington let him by. And in the meantime, as you can see, both Hamilton and Mark Dismore have closed in.
Sam Schmidt is shown in the 5th position, although he is 1 lap down.
Here they are coming through turn 3. The bright yellow car, your race leader. 3 laps to go.
Oh boy, and the 3 of them are pretty close.
Let's see who's quickest. Looks like Dismore, 168.998 in the top 3 cars, is the fastest mountain.
But does he have enough time to pick it up?
He's only got about 45 seconds or so. That's not a lot of time, guys.
And look at Lazier. Unfortunately, Lazier is not shown on the lead lap, but he is running wide open at 170.
Up front, Ray trying to get by Sam Schmidt on the inside. Davey Hamilton's going to try to tuck up on the inside. 2 laps to go.
This is going to be close, Dave. It looks like Hamilton had a run on him, but I don't know. White flag is coming out.
The white flag comes out the final lap for the Colorado Indy 200 title. Davey Hamilton desperately looking for a way, but right now it seems like Greg Ray is too strong to catch.
No traffic in front of Greg Ray to put a damper on his day.
Half a mile to go through turn 3. Greg Ray eyeing the victory, going for the sweep at Pikes Peak. Out of turn 4, here it is. Greg Ray pumping the fist in the air. He wins the Colorado Indy 200. The celebration is underway.
Greg Ray says that his hero is a fellow resident of Plano, Texas, that now hails from Austin, Texas. It's the man that overcame cancer and went on to win the Tour de France this year. In fact, he has talked to Lance Armstrong about being a professional athlete and overcoming adversity. That seems to be the case with this man whose first job was in his family's marina, washing boats at age 10. Now he is a 2-time winner at the 1-mile Pikes Peak International Raceway.
And he's got 3 wins in the last 5 races. Adam Platz today, let's watch him show off a little bit. Deservedly so today. Davey Hamilton comes in 2nd. Dismore is 3rd. Lazier is 4th. And Sam Schmidt muscles home a 5th place finish. So Team Menard gets it done once again. Margin of victory about 0.4 of a second.
21 cars running at the end of this race of the 24 starters. Fine presentation by the Indy Racing League. And what a great ride by this guy. You know, I think that this team has really finally gelled. The chemistry, a lot of the crew members were holdovers from the Menard, Larry Curry, Tony Stewart situation. It took them a while to get to know this guy and Thomas Knapp. As we don't get a donut, we get a cruller, an IRL cruller.
Get a little burn straightaway. Get a little bit of burn out there. These cars are hard to do donuts with the gearbox they have in them.
Let's go down and enjoy the celebration and just listen in here.
Bringing Greg Ray out of the race car now, John O'Gara and the rest of the Glidden Menards team congratulating Greg again, winning from the pole here at Pikes Peak. The 2nd time this year he has done so, and really charging ahead in the points championship after taking the points lead yesterday and qualifying with another pole run. Greg Ray has now won 3 out of the last 4 races in the Pep Boys Indy Racing League season. After getting off to a slow start, he has again flexed a little muscle here at Pikes Peak. Greg, what is it about you in this racetrack?
I don't know, but I wish we had raced here a few more times this year.
The Pep Boys winner circle, and Greg Ray tallying himself off a great run today, and Davey Hamilton right on your tail. Mark Dismore not far behind.
Yeah, that last couple laps, it was deja vu, but it was a different color car. Right there at the end, we had a great car, and Sam was holding us up a little bit, and I was concerned, but again, I tell you, I am so proud and so happy to be part of this Glidden Team Menard group. Just very honored to be their driver. They're a championship caliber team, and I'm just doing my best.
There was a late yellow with Scott Sharp's accident. Talk to us about the restart and how you jumped out.
The restart was fine. We just they've changed the rules where we can start anywhere. So I just started a little bit further back. Some of the cars behind me got a good restart as well, and worked out good.
Greg, we've talked all season long about the championship being your goal, and you said if we just start winning races, the championship will take care of itself. Talk about the position you're in now. You take the lead with the pole position yesterday and really put some space between yourselves with this win.
Yeah, I don't know what the points are, and I haven't really been concerned about the points all year long. We've just been, minding our P's and Q's and taking care of business. And again, I think if you do the best job you can and focus on that, everything takes care of itself.
Greg Ray, the winner of the Colorado Indy 200 in the Pep Boys winner's circle. He's won 3 of the last 4 races in the series and now leads the points race.
And a big hug from his mom down there. Thank you, Vince Welch, for the winner's interview right there. Greg Ray muscles home to victory once again right here at Pikes Peak. We'll show you where your favorite driver finished and all that coming up here on Fox Sports Net. Stay with us. And we're back at Pikes Peak International Raceway, the Colorado Indy 200. Greg Ray takes home the victory. Davey Hamilton with a second place today, and he's with Calvin Fish.
Well, he had a great run here today. Another podium finish. That's 4 times here. You must love this joint.
Yeah, we have a lot of good luck in Colorado, and almost got him today. We back in second again, but we'll take it today. This Spinal Conquest Gallus car and the team have been doing a fantastic job, and this thing got put together late this year, and we're just working our way. We feel we have a great end of the year coming along, and this will move us up in the points a little bit, and we're happy to take second.
Tell us about that last lap. You closed in on Greg, and you're definitely getting the slipstream there. And did you think you'd had a chance at taking the victory with the traffic in front?
Yeah, I actually did. From the time we came out of the pits and I got beside him, we ran wheel to wheel for a few laps there, and just didn't quite have enough on the outside to stay there. And then we got some lap traffic. Had another opportunity in that last lap. I thought, I can give it all she has and try to leave it flat, and picked up a little push on the exit of the corner and had to lift a little bit. But hey, he had a better car than we did today, but we gave him a little head.
Finished second in the championship 2 years now, Davey. With a charge at the end of this season, 2 races to run, can you get back up on the top 3 in the championship?
Yeah, we're not going to give up, that's for sure. Second last 2 years felt great, but you always want to win, and I know it's going to be tough to win the championship. If we keep doing this, you never know, and we're going to fight all the way to the end.
Great job today, Vince Welch.
Oh, what a great day for Mark Dismore and the Kelly Racing team. Tom Kelly, the team owner, and Mark Dismore finishing third. A good run for you today. You started off with a good qualifying weekend. I know you'd concentrated on your race setup all weekend. It paid off today, 3rd place.
Yeah, it really did, Vince. I'm happy, especially after the disappointment at Dover, and to come back here and to get on the podium. It's great for the whole team, and I want to thank MCI WorldCom and Brian Heating and Air for sticking in there with us, and there's more to come. We got 2 races left. This really catapults us forward in the points championship, so it's looking good. We need to go to Vegas now and build on this and go to Texas. A couple of these guys have a hiccup or 2, and we're right there.
Did you think you had a chance to catch Davey Hamilton or Greg Ray in those final laps?
I think I had a little more downforce in my car, and we started losing the balance. The longer we would run, we'd start picking up an understeer, and I could really get through 1 and 2 really good, and I just couldn't do anything with them on the straightaway. I think they had a little less downforce in the cars, but car was consistent all day. It just had an understeer. I think we put 6 or 8 turns of front wing in it as the race went along, and probably could have used 2 or 3 more, but I'm not complaining. It's nice to be here after knocking the wheels off in Dover.
I know officially you were without a team engineer this weekend. Did you teach Tom Kelly a thing or 2 about engineering the race car?
It's kind of funny you mentioned that. Collectively, all of us put our heads together, and we did I'm really proud of my guys. They're just a bunch of hard-working mechanics, and we just took a common sense approach to it, and they gave me a great car today, and I'm going to go buy them all a cheeseburger later.
Tom, what is it about engineering, just push the pedal and go fast?
Tell them to go flat every lap. No, we just we were fortunate. We used a little strategy there at the end and get a splash of fuel that last yellow. And then this very last yellow we had, we thought if we could just get out ahead of Greg Ray, we'd be leading the race. And unfortunately, we missed it by 10 feet at the starting line. But we gave it a good shot, and they knew we were there.
Normally we see your dad here at the race, and he didn't make the trip this time.
Well, I hope he's having a good time at home because we had fun.
I'm sure he's enjoying it. Congratulations.
I'd like to say hi to Jim. He's not here with us, and I wish he was, because, Jim, this is the best we've done so far for the 28 car. I wish you were here with us.
Some celebrations for Team Kelly Racing, and certainly Mark Dismore celebrating a 3rd place finish today.
And if I know Jim Kelly right now, he's saying, engineer, Tom Kelly, an engineer. Well, I've got to get back to the shop and straighten things out.
All right, let's show you the top 10 from today's race. First off, of course, Greg Ray's your winner. Hamilton second. Lazier in the top 5, and Sam Schmidt makes the top 5. Also, The rest is coming up right here on Fox Sports Net. Well, Buddy Lazier finishes in the top 5 today. He was in 4th place. Looked like he would challenge for the win for some time there, and he's standing by with Calvin Fish.
Well, Buddy Lazier had a great run up to 4th spot, but it was really a case of what might have been, Buddy. What happened out there?
Yeah, we had a really strong car. My Coors Light Delta Faucet Dallara ran great. We were running strong, and we kept making the car better and better, but we ran out of fuel. I mean, it's just the way that it is. There's no two ways about it. I was dead stick all the way around, able to get it bump started, and then going back down the back straightaway, there was air in the line, and the car wouldn't run, so bump starting, it took me like 15, 20 seconds to get it going. So we threw away what we worked hard all day for, but my guys worked really hard. I had a great race car at the end. That's what's so disappointing. It's our home track. We had a fast car at the end. I think we could have challenged had we not run out of gas.
You ran against all of the front runners all day long, Buddy. Who was going to be the biggest threat? Was Greg Ray the man to beat, or were there some other strong cars out there?
There were some other strong cars, but Ray looked like the one you'd have to get by, but there was a lot of traffic. That really played a large role today, and radios played a large role. We didn't have any radio, really. I mean, it was real intermittent, so I think that might have added to us running out of fuel, but so, you know, we needed the communications, would have helped a lot as well. But Greg Ray looked strong.
Seems like you're really turning things around now. Come race time, you guys are strong week in, week out. What has really been the change over the last 6 months?
Well, I don't know that there's really been a big change. We were a little off for a race or two, there's no doubt, but we were pretty strong all season. We just haven't been able to capitalize on it. It's real frustrating, and I guess being here in front of the home crowd, that makes it even more frustrating. We're just having some tough luck this year, but we're still in the championship hunt.
2 races to go, and Buddy Lazier would love to close out this season with a victory. Vince Welsh?
Sam Schmidt finished 5th today, and you were on the point for a while. Traffic was a problem today, wasn't it?
Yeah, for us. I mean, out in front, I was glad I got it on the start because the car was just a dream. I mean, we were able to stay in front of Greg and I think pull out a little bit of an advantage. And then when he got me in traffic, we were basically losing the front end going in, which was creating, you know, kind of a full lock situation on the wheel, and then coming off, it wanted to swap in. So it was just kind of until we got to the first pit stop, and then, I mean, Skip Fall and Jeff Britt made a great call on the first pit stop because from then on out it was pretty hooked up. But unfortunately, we were already down to 10th or 12th. That loose feeling is something you don't want out there. But Sprint PCS team, I mean, a couple times we could have pitched it in the fence too. So it's nice to come home 5th and keep the top 5 streak going and head on to Vegas where I think we can run strong there.
Now looking at the big picture, 4 top 5s in your last 5 races, and that's a great improvement for where you guys started.
Yeah, we got to be consistent and you know, keeping that sponsorship hunt for next year. You know, so that's what it takes, and we just keep chugging away at it. We're going to win one of these things. The guys are just doing a super job. We killed it on fuel mileage today, so that's a positive. And top 5s is, if nothing else. I mean, it's kind of sad to be disappointed with the top 5. I mean, last year we would have killed for them, but now this is we're pretty happy with that, and you know, we'll take it and go on to Vegas.
2 good showings at Pikes Peak for Sam Schmidt. 2nd here in June, 5th today.
And Dave, let me give a little gratuitous self-promotion. That man, Sam Schmidt, will be on the IRL Speed Zone chat room on Monday night starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. How do you get there? www.jackaroot.com.
All right, did you hear that this guy's got a website now?
He's got one, and you know, I got one too, www.irlinic.com.
So I'm the only guy that's left out. How do you like that? Here's 11 through 25 from today's Colorado Indy 200.
Big day for Eddie Cheever, but a tough day for Owen Snyder.
That's right. His daughter made the varsity soccer team only to break her leg yesterday. So we want to get a call to Christy, who's resting at the hospital right now. We wish her the very best. We'll be back with more here at the Colorado Indy 200. I hope you'll stay with us. The celebration continues at the Colorado Indy 200. In the middle, Greg Ray, the winner today, leading 145 laps. 2nd place goes to Davey Hamilton, 3rd Dismore. And Scott Harrington comes up with a 6th place finish today. He's with the Calvin Fish.
Well, it was an eventful run for Scott Harrington. Tell us about the pace lap and what happened going to green.
That was 100% my fault. A little mistake on my part. I was adjusting the fuel mixture coming around for the green, and I accidentally hit the ignition switch with my finger, and it shut the car off. I flipped it immediately back on, but the car wouldn't refire. And you know, I was kind of surprised I threw the green because I had stacked up that row so far back. There was about a 20 car length gap in front of me, and they threw the green. So I mean, I lost however many, a dozen positions or whatever. But you know, we managed to claw our way back up to 3rd by the first stop. So the car was pretty good at the beginning of the race, and it kind of went away there at the end.
The tracks really seem to change. I know during the second stint we talked to the crew and they said that you went loose. You were pushing in the first stint, and then it went to loose. Is that just track conditions, or you over-adjusted?
No, I think it was just track conditions. The only adjustment we made externally was we put just a turn of front wing, which is, I mean, a very minimal adjustment. And I should have been able to adjust, if that had gone too far, that out in the car. But I've never been adjusting the bars and the weight jacker anymore in my life. I mean, I was adjusting the front bar. Last time we were here, we had a great car. The only thing I did all day was adjust the front bar a little bit. Today I was adjusting the front bar back and forth, the rear bar back and forth, had the weight jacker out, the weight jacker in, and I mean, it went from understeer. There at the end of the second run, I mean, I was hanging on. I mean, it was just white knuckling it because the car was so loose. It coming off a 2. I mean, it was like opposite lock a couple of times, which on an oval, it's not too much fun.
Another great run for Scott in the 17th entry. Vince Welch?
Well, what a difference a couple of months makes for Robbie McGee. He didn't even get a chance to qualify here in the race in June and did not start the race, and now you finished 7th in this one here in August. A much different event for you. I'm sure it was much more enjoyable, too.
Oh, yeah, it really feels great for the whole Energizer Motorsports crew led by Dave Conti. We've had great motors. The car's been great all weekend. We're really just chiseling away to get our first win sometime, and the biggest thing, having Steve Fried back is just amazing for us. We're really happy to have him here and can't wait for him to get back over the wall and keep this thing on the road.
Visit with Steve in a minute. Talk about the engine change. You went to Comtech Motors this week, and a big difference, huh?
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, we had some issues before, basically with just being able to get out on the track. We had reliability issues. We want to thank Treadway Racing for leasing us these Comtech Motors because they've really proved to be really consistent, reliable, smooth, and fast.
That makes a big difference, having a good motor. And Robbie mentioned Steve Fried, and Steve, of course, if you follow racing, you know Steve was involved in a pit lane accident at the Indianapolis 500, and it's great to see you back. I know that you're probably glad to be back as well.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be back. They brought me back to life at Indy, but I'm starting to live this weekend. So it's just great to be back here with the Energizer Advanced Formula team and Robbie and seeing it all. And I just can't wait to get back to where I can get back over the wall and get my hands back into the car and get my hands dirty again. But I'm just really excited and happy to be here, and Robbie just did his usual wonderful job out on the track.
We know you've been through so much physically, but just kind of update us on your condition and how you're doing. So many race fans around the world wanting to know.
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I still got a road ahead of me. Right now I can't use my left arm for another month. I just had a shoulder surgery where they removed my collarbone, and I need another surgery for the paralysis of the right side of my face for a nerve that goes through your ear into your brain. But every operation has been, come out well, and I got all the faith in the world with the doctors of Indy. Just I thank God all the time that if this had happened to me, that it happened at Indy, and all the stories I heard about the track personnel at Indy and Methodist Hospital. I just can't thank them all enough, and all the fans that have sent me all the letters, and everybody said they were praying for me, and I shouldn't be here, so there must be something to that.
As a crew chief, I'm sure it helps the remedy a little bit too when you see your driver doing so well.
Oh, that's for sure. If he's got a car under him, he's going to do good. There's no question about that. I've never seen him do bad.
I know it means a lot to him to have you back here with the team at the racetrack too. Congratulations on a good day today, and welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Steve Fried, guys.
Vince alluded to Steve alluded to the fact that he stopped breathing and had to be revived on pit road. Steve Fried's middle name is Lazarus.
And he is truly a remarkable man, this guy. He has been through so much, and he knows that all you fans have been thinking about him. I was at his apartment a couple of months ago and saw all the letters and cards and flowers from everybody. So Steve Fried, truly a remarkable guy. And you think you got a problem? This guy's been through it all, and he's feeling quite well. It's good to have him back at the racetrack. The points are interesting now, Jack.
Well, at the top of the show, we said things were going to get shuffled around. Well, they have. Look at the lead that Greg Ray now has over Scott Goodyear. But notice how close Kenny Brack is to Scott Goodyear, how close Lazier is. And I'll tell you what, it is very tight now, all the way through the top 10.
A couple of more races to go here in the Indy Racing League. 8 events so far, total of 10. Again, Greg Ray wins the Colorado Indy 200. We'll have much more live here on Fox Sports Net when we come back. Stay with us. Look at the traffic jam out on the highway as people pour out after watching this great event here, the Colorado Indy 200 at Pikes Peak, and the weather held out just perfectly for us to get this race, and Greg Ray grabs the victory. Vince Welsh?
It sure was a beautiful day. A lot of good racing out there, and Stéphane Gregoire was part of it, and Virginie, the newlyweds here. So congratulations, Stéphane, and racing no different being a married man, I assume.
No, you don't think about that when you drive, otherwise that means you're not concentrate. No, that doesn't change much for racing.
There was some heated racing out there today. I know at one point you and Donnie Beechler touched.
Yeah, Donny was trying to dive underneath me and somebody else. I was trying to pass someone, I don't even remember who it was. And well, Donny was just trying to pass us, and it didn't work. Oops. And he was a little bit short, and he hit my left rear tire, and he broke his wing. So I'm sorry about that for him, but of course I didn't do that on purpose. I was not trying to block him and anything like that.
You finished 14th today, and some might look at that and say, 14th, an average finish. But considering what your team went through this week, I know that you really struggled the first couple of days, realized you had a cracked bell housing right before qualifying yesterday. So considering how little time you actually had to work with a good car, 14th is a pretty solid run.
Yeah, of course, 14th is not a very good result. So that's not what we want to do, you know. We want to do at least top 5. But as you said, we had the broken bell housing Saturday after qualifying. I mean, we saw it after qualifying. And so we had only 30 minutes last night to set up this race car and try to make it okay for the race. And it was not enough time to have a competitive race car. So it was just not competitive enough. So it was not very, I mean, I was not able to bring a good result to make Smiltokeim Viking Air Tool. So everybody was here watching, but unfortunately, I'm not very happy about the 14th position, but we finished, so that's good, and we'll try to do better for the last 2 races.
We'll see you in Las Vegas. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and congratulations on the wedding.
Thanks a lot.
John Hollinsworth had a tough day finishing in 16th position, but Team Extreme have reason to celebrate. They just announced a 3-year sponsorship extension from Lycos, and that means job security for all 3 of these guys. We've got Rob Stark, the crew chief here, and Mark Wider over to the other side, the engineer. Tell us about your day, John. Tough day out there for you.
Yeah, Calvin, it was pretty tough. Right on the start, apparently, we had an injector clogged or something. That bottom line is we were down a cylinder, so the Compicom Lycos car was a little underpowered here most of the day, but we still finished up 16th. At least we're still in the hunt for Rookie of the Year points, but we'll try to get them at Vegas and TMS.
Still seemed like the car was running pretty strong, even though you're a cylinder down. You seem to be running as quick as some of the other guys out there through the turn, certainly.
Because these 2 guys primarily and the rest of the team, we probably had the best handling car throughout the duration of the race that we've had to date. So it's just unfortunate we didn't have the horsepower to match it, because we could stay with the leaders in the turn. It was frustrating to seem to go away down the straight, though.
Well, these 2 guys, Rob and Mark, actually reckon they're the oldest guys over the wall. But Mark, tell us about working with the young rookie. You've come through Indy Lights now in the IRL, worked with a lot of young drivers, Robbie Buell, who's now running the IRL. Tell us about John and his potential.
Well, I think John's potential is really unlimited as of right now. I mean, you know, we've seen so many times that after a driver gets a full rookie season underneath and he comes back for the second year, how much he jumps in that second year. And we're getting a ton of experience. He's doing a great job. He stands on the gas, and we're looking forward to the next race.
Rob, tell us about working together for 3 years. You get the chemistry going, and that's just going to lead to better things down the road.
Yeah, it is. I think everybody's gelled real good on this team so far, and I think we're just continue to move on and move up, and I think everything is just going in a positive direction here.
Okay, well, good luck, boys. We'll see you at the next one. Thanks.
All right, congratulations to Greg Ray, the winner today. Davey Hamilton was second. Dismore was third. Buddy Lazier in the top 5 along with Sam Schmidt. Harrington in 6th today.
Robbie McGee we heard from. How about Mini-Me? Jimmy Kite comes home 8th. Robbie Unser in the 9th position.
Jacques Lazier, a quiet 12th place finish today. Cheever makes it to 11th. Stephane Gregoire, as you know, is 14th.
John Hollinsworth we heard from. Tice Carlson, Bobby Register.
And Ronnie John Cox, 24th. We'll have more after this. You're watching Fox Sportsnet coverage of the Pep Boys Indy Racing League. Today, the Colorado Indy 200. And here's how the points stand after today, Jack. Look at Greg Ray's lead.
And you know what? Look right here. Scott Goodyear, if he's not careful, may find himself in 3rd spot.
If Scott Goodyear wins and Greg Ray drops out, Greg Ray is still very close to Scott, and the last race will be a shootout.
Robbie Unser is 6th now, and he's standing by with Vince Welsh.
Well, Robbie felt as though he might have had a top 5 car, but 9th, not bad today, into the top 10, still 6th in points.
Not bad. You know, we lost a little bit to the leaders. We gained a little bit in position-wise. The guys did a really good job this weekend. We blew motor, you know, before qualifying, went into qualifying not knowing anything, had a great start. And, you know, Petromali ran smooth with the altitude. We ran cool all day and stuff, but just couldn't get through 3 and 4 very well all day. And I didn't call enough change early on. And we had a little bit of problem getting our fuel in our car, and other than that, you know, we had a decent car. We didn't have a winning car, but we had a top 5 car.
In the last 6 races, you've had 5 top 10s. I mean, you've really made a move up the points race, and standing 6th, pretty good position for this team.
It is. I mean, you know, it's kind of fun to walk around here because we've thrown a little bit of a monkey wrench in their plans because nobody expected us to be up there. But we're getting consistent enough to where we're somebody and we're playing with the front guys. It's a lot more fun than watching them all play. So it has worked, and I owe that to the guys. I mean, it really is the physical guys working on this car that have driven this thing up. I mean, they're awesome.
Earlier in the race telecast, we saw some footage of you on the mountain with Little Al. I'm sure you've been up that mountain more than a few times.
Maybe once, I think, on a weekend, one way or another.
How about Little Al, and will we see a team Unser with maybe throw you and Al and Johnny into the mix?
There's always the potential of something like that. I think there's probably more of a likelihood it happening with Johnny and I. I think Al was obviously here this weekend. Don't know what he's going to do. Didn't have a chance to talk to him before he left. Got a very good welcome and good response. So hopefully he got something handled because I want him here.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Congratulations on a ninth place run, even though I know it's not where you wanted to finish.
Thanks. God bless.
Talking about Team Unser for the year 2000, rumors that it's going to be one of the we call kitchen counter type sponsors, so it could be real interesting.
That would be fun to watch the Unsers running together in the Pep Boys Indy Racing League. Well, today, Buddy Lazier, the 96 Indy 500 winner, comes up with a 4th place finish. His brother was running in the top 12 as well, Jacques Lazier. These two share a very similar passion. It's racing. Take a look.
One is an Indy 500 champion. The other, a rookie. Raw, yes, but talented enough to challenge right out of the box. He has proven, at least on the quad, that Jacques Lazier, rookie or not, is a strong IRL competitor. Buddy and Jacques Lazier both race in the Pep Boys Indy Racing League. Growing up in the shadows of the family's Vail, Colorado ski lodge, it's the kind of brotherly love that makes one wonder whether the off-track bloodlines will make for more heated on-track races.
Buddy's been the first one to help me, and obviously I feel the pressure of trying to, continue on the family tradition, and Buddy's always been the first one that said, hey, it took me several years to get up here, and it took me several years to get comfortable with the racetrack. It might take you that long, it might take you a lot less.
There's a little bit of everything, you want to give him some advice, but at the same time, he wants to do it on his own.
While Buddy is already a career multiple winner, Jacques has led in both Texas and Atlanta and seems destined soon for victory lane.
I remember when I was just a baby, my dad used to, when I was 3 or 4 years old, my dad used to put me on his lap and he'd hold the steering wheel and I'd hold the steering wheel, and we'd, go out and drive the car together. And ever since then, I just, I couldn't wait to go racing.
When someone does something and has a passion for racing, such as I do, and for car racing specifically, it's kind of nice to be able to share that with one of your sons. You can imagine, if that's a true statement, how great it is to share it with both of your sons, and I really thoroughly enjoy it.
Jack stands by with his wife, Angelique, and a tough day out there. You were busy all day working on the weight jacket, trying to get that car to handle.
Yeah, the Magnificent Mile wasn't, that good to us today. We had a battle out there. We had a real good beginning run, and then the middle stint, we got the car a little too loose, and we'd have a loose condition in 2 and then a pushover in turn 4, so we had a big battle there. And towards the end, we were actually running pretty good, but we lost that lap early on, and when the second yellow came out, we just couldn't fight back from that. But I'm just so proud of the whole Truselli team racing, and Warner Brothers Studio Store, we got Pokemon on the car now, and EDSS, we're just keep going.
How about the bragging rights? You've led a couple of these events this year, but he hasn't. What about that?
I don't think I can brag because he beat me this race, but yeah, we've still led more laps than he has, so I got that on him.
Joe Truselli just walked up, and I understand you got a request for the booth, Joe. What's that?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Jack if he could do that Elmer Fudd, that great Elmer Fudd he did the other day on the radio.
Oh, I don't know about that, Joe. I was very excited watching Team Truselli race today, especially that Jacques Lazier.
He's doing it right now, guys.
Okay,
back up top.
Thanks, Calvin. Vince Welsh is standing by now. Vince?
Well, Jeff Ward, I know not a very happy man right now after the way your race ended today with an early accident.
No, it's kind of a bummer. I mean, we had a good car and really don't know what happened. Went down to 1 and 2. It was just fine, and just taking our time. Unser just came up a little bit in front of me in turns 3 and 4, and the car just floated and took off. So it was, maybe a little bit. The tires, I think, weren't cold. I don't think there's any problem there, but maybe just the fronts came in a little quicker than the rear, and maybe when he moved it back across, it just got too much bite, and round it came. So it's unfortunate for the Yahoo team. I mean, we needed to do good for the championship, and this really basically put us out of it. So our main goal right now is to try to win a race for the end of the year.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, because I know the pressure was on this race to get something done. You came into the race 4th in the points championship.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said, you had to finish here and not have a problem, and we didn't do that. So there's 6 guys ahead of us that I have to catch, and not all 6 of them are going to have problems. And Scott Goodyear had a problem. It looked like it was a chance to capitalize on at least one guy, and we didn't stay out there. And Ray has had a great car here, and hopefully the next couple races we can at least get a win out of it, and then let those guys go for the championship.
We'll see you in Las Vegas, Jeff.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Jeff Ward and the Yahoo Racing Machine. Calvin Fish.
Well, Jimmy Kite had a great run today for Dennis McCormick's team, standing behind Jimmy. Jimmy, how about it? You were antsy with the month off, but you went out there today and took it to the front. Had a great run.
Yeah, we did. I mean, just from the green flag, Brad and Dennis and all the guys at McCormick Motorsports just gave me a car that was just, unbelievable. And, we couldn't catch yellows when we needed to get up with the guys up front, but to come from where we did up front, I couldn't be happier with the car. It's fun when you have a car that good.
We call Jimmy Mini-Me just fondly, of course, Dennis, and he's about half your size, by the way. How about the future, and how about Jimmy and you and the team for next year?
Oh, we're looking good. We're trying to put things together for next year. We very much want to have Jimmy back behind the seat because he's been doing a great job for us since Indy. So we're looking forward to continuing the being together.
How about the sponsorship program? I know you need a little bit more money to be able to do some testing and maybe a little bit more competitive. Is that coming through?
It's coming slowly. Like everybody, you always can use more money. But we want to do more testing, and we want to get that a little bit extra to be more competitive.
Great job today, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jimmy Kite. Jimmy Kite finishing in the top 10 today. Greg Ray's your winner. He dominates for 145 laps. We'll wrap it up here on Fox Sports Net when we come back. Today's Pep Boys Indy Racing League event here on Fox Sports Net, the Colorado Indy 200, has been sponsored in part by Nortel Networks, how the world shares ideas, by MCI.com, the official long-distance and local service provider of the Pep Boys Indy Racing League, by Pennzoil with Pure Base, made for the way you drive. Stop, go, Pennzoil, and by Pep Boys. Cars like us, people love us. Back in Fountain, Colorado at beautiful Pikes Peak International Raceway, where Greg Ray has won today. Calvin Fish, your final thoughts?
Well, Team Menard had a perfect game plan on Friday. They were not concerned when Harrington and McGee stole the headlines. And then on Saturday, they came through with the pole, narrowly, of course. And then today, the pit stops were just flawless. And I think that's really what won Greg Ray the race. He had a great race car, but in the pits, no mistakes. And they're on the way to their championship, potentially. Vince Welsh?
Scott Goodyear was asked about the championship this week when he still held that slim lead over Greg Ray, and Goodyear made the comment that all I can do is my best and let the championship take care of itself. Well, mechanical problems sidelined Goodyear today. Nothing he can do about that. He's just 3 points ahead of the third-place driver, Kenny Breck, in the standings, so it's not over yet, but ground to be made up for Scott Goodyear at Las Vegas.
And it has to be disappointing for Scott Goodyear to have 4 races in a row with mechanical problems setting him back, because it obviously takes away all your chances of being competitive. But
Dave,
there's 2 races to go still.
Dave, we started this Magical Mystery Tour in Phoenix, Arizona on Fox Sports Net. We ended here in Pikes Peak International Raceway. It has been a wild and terrific ride.
We've been having a great time for Jack Arute and Ari Lyondike, Calvin Fish, and Vince Welsh. We appreciate you watching the Pep Boys Indy Racing League right here on Fox Sports Net. A fantastic show today as Greg Ray leads 145 laps, his 3rd win of the series. 9 consecutive top 5 finishes for Greg Ray. He gets it done once again at Pikes Peak. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Dave Calabro. Again, we appreciate you watching this production of Fox Sports Net's Indy Racing League. Good day.